Alright, my name is Alexandria. This is my persuasive speech for communication class. These are my audiences. We're going to assume that they are pro-legalizing marijuana. Alright, so how many of us have road rage? Most of us have road rage. Let's just assume that, right? We're driving down the road, some idiot makes a dumb decision, and then you get really mad, right? So generally, we get mad because somebody makes a dumb decision. That's a fair statement, I believe. These dumb decisions lead to consequences that are sometimes out of our control, but sometimes are in our control. If we're driving in a car, we do have control of that because we have control to be aware, to check all of our mirrors, to make sure nobody's coming alongside of us. Like, those are all things within our control before we make a decision. To cut someone off, to run a red light. Sometimes that ability to make a decision is impaired by certain things, whether that be we're just not paying attention, lack of sleep. Sometimes it's drug related. And so when we legalize marijuana, this is a potential consequence of legalizing marijuana is that people will now start to make dumb decisions. So the legalization in and of itself leads down a dangerous path of enabling people to make dumb decisions later down the road. And though marijuana may have health benefits, it also has very harmful effects for the people who don't use it wisely. I know from my own experience, I grew up around drugs and alcohol, and I could tell you 100% that none of those effects were positive. All those effects were negative. I never saw someone participate in taking a drug and it work out to anyone's benefit in the room. Every time it was a negative effect. And so not only does legalizing this drug endanger the person who partakes in it, but it also endangers the people around them, the people that they come in contact with. So drug usage is already a major problem in America. So it makes no sense that we would legalize something to further perpetuate a problem. So let's talk about a few facts about marijuana. In the long-term and short-term effects from using marijuana, they have serious health risks involved. It's been found that kids in the U.S. as young as 12 years old are partaking in using marijuana. That alone should shock you and make you even rethink why we legalized marijuana in the beginning. So in the short term, your sensory can be affected, it can be super enhanced, but then just without even warning, you can be drowsy and you can be asleep. So what if you smoked and then you go and drive a car? Well, your sense is heightened, so you are more aware, but who knows when that drowsiness is going to hit you, and before you know it, you're in a wreck. Or you have potentially endangered someone else's life. So you have slowed reaction time, and your balance and coordination is off, and so this can be a side effect of a short-term use of marijuana. In the long term, you may have chronic cough, and also you have potential for respiratory infections. And if I go back to the short term just for a second, a super dangerous side effect is that you can also suffer from psychosis and panic attacks in the short-term use of marijuana. So these are the risks that people are entertaining as they participate in smoking. And when we legalized it, we also gave people the okay to possibly have these side effects. So marijuana, its main purpose was made legal for medicinal reasons, and also because it had potential economic benefit, that it was going to be a cash crop, and so jobs would be created by it and all this. one fault with that is sex trafficking and prostitution brings in a ton of money to America too. Should we legalize that? That doesn't make sense to me, that we would legalize something that has such harmful benefits just because it makes us money. It does not make sense. So my final point in all of this is that we legalize something and not fully seeing the whole picture. In the short term, we saw the great benefits to the economy and for medical reasons, and then we opened the gateway for anyone who wanted to buy marijuana who is 21 or older, that they could do it now. To me, I don't think that was a wise idea because of the potential effects that it has. Because not only did we open a gate for further boundaries to be pushed in terms of legalizing other things that are illegal, but we also create a potential to have a dumber society because it pushes people to be lazy. It pushes people and allows people to use a drug to escape reality, to not deal with their issues, and potentially have nervous breakdowns and not be mentally aware of what they're doing. So when that happens, then they have to go get help for that. Well, now we've created an even bigger problem of people who don't contribute to society and are now living off of the government. So I think in the long term, legalizing marijuana is not a good idea. And studies have been shown that long-term use of marijuana in teenagers actually, they had a lower IQ as they got older. And so I think that these are potential harmful effects that everyone doesn't know or aren't incorporating into the decision to legalize marijuana. So in the end, marijuana is a dangerous choice. Legalizing such a drug may very well lead to a dumber society.